Once again, I feel like Schopenhauer when he was feasting on mutton uh, on the white cliffs of Dover, in England, and he was being interviewed. And they said to him, "Oh, Mr. Schopenhauer, do you believe in suicide?" Schopenhauer took a bite of his mutton, and he said, "Yes, yes, I believe in suicide," which I find really incongruous, but in actuality it's not. How weird. How that same story, I repeat stories, as you know, when they're appropriate. I love the story of Alexander the Great and Diogenes the dog. I also love this story of Schopenhauer feasting on mutton. I eat at this table here for a reason. And I say grace after meals at this table now. And since the deaths in my family, I've eaten every meal here. And the table gives a blessing that I hope you receive. In the meantime, how could Schopenhauer say, yes, yes, I believe in suicide, while he's feasting on mutton? And quite frankly, that's just the point. The point is that this whole world down here is just suffering. Buddha was right. This is just suffering down here. We're actually godly souls entrapped in this physical body and this world of the Yetzer Hara, of the others. If one is an aesthetic or ascetic or whatever, if one does without, one can avoid that. But it's very hard to avoid the other people and their desires. I was at a party, yes, a party where I even started to dance. Imagine that. And then I realized, what am I doing? Anyway, the young boy at the party, I said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "You have to do what you want to in life. Make sure you do. The time goes fast." I wasn't always 72 years old, And so he says, "Oh, I want to be in the real estate business. I want to make passive income and then go do what I want." I said, "Well, the real estate business, it sounds good. Everybody wants real estate now. They sell these ads on television to go into the real estate business, turn over a home, get a tenant." So I said, the real estate business, because his father owns a building, has, maybe 200 tenants in that building. I said, the real estate business is not as nice or simple as it seems. Interviewer, would you pass the mutton sauce? I said, each unit in that building suffers a terrible pain when you're the owner of the building. It's the same this morning here in my building. I'm fully clothed and with a sweater because there's no heat. The temperature's been to a certain number, and so they don't have to turn the heat on, but it's cold here because of a wind. And so to save a few shekels, they don't turn on the heat. And so I have thoughts about the owners of the building, how cheap they are, how they're taking advantage. That goes directly to the owner's consciousness, soul level, up to their root levels, and has an effect. Now, if 200 people do that to a landlord, it's social. Oh, he's a landlord. He's a millionaire. But 200 people are sending these energies because this guy's too cheap to give more heat. Or to not have more services in the building. Where they cut corners where they can, or pay off the union. Things like that. And then later on in life, when they have problems, they say, I was a good man. They were good within the context of what's acceptable, but they suffer the price. And so here's the key. This world down here is only suffering. I'm suffering tremendously right now. I just came back from an unveiling for my brother, because I had a piece of mutton there. Going to put a little applesauce on my French toast. Parlez-vous français? A little applesauce on the French toast. A little sip of coffee, black coffee with coconut oil. And now, one of the keys is they tell you to be happy. It's a mitzvah to be happy in Hasidus, especially in Breslov Hasidism. And Rebbe Nachman of Breslov said that you have to be happy at besimcha at all times. Well, why should you have to be commanded to be happy? The only reason that you have to be commanded to be happy is because left on your own, you wouldn't be happy. They don't have to command me to breathe. Left on my own, I'm going to breathe. So left on my own, I wouldn't be happy. It's a commandment to be happy amidst all the misery, amidst all the suffering. And they have plenty of stories like this about Hasidic, Hasidic geniuses, because they were, during the Holocaust. In the story comes out of Auschwitz, where two tzaddikim, two rabbis, two tzaddikim, were in Auschwitz amidst the suffering. And they spoke to each other, and they said, they've taken everything from us, taken the right to pray, to read books, Torah books, do mitzvahs, put on tefillin, and killing everybody around us. The only thing they can't take from us is to be besimcha, to be happy. And they started dancing. Happy amidst the suffering. In a certain sense, that's what you call echad b'shishim, 1 in 60. That's the little drop. To be happy under all this misery, under all this suffering. No, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me. It's the ultimate mitzvah. To be happy. Besimcha. Joyous. Remember Rajneesh? He used to say, be joyous. Stretch those S's. But then, be joyous. Like trying to be holy. His organization was stealing money left and right. Committing crimes left and right. And he'd sit there in those hats and getting Rolls Royces. Pretending he was holy. Be joyous. That's besimcha. It's the only thing they can't take away from you. It's the only thing you can add. That's the ultimate mitzvah. And if you don't think this is suffering here, everything about it is just, there's a waiting room for death. If you're not already dead. Simcha. In the waiting room of death. In the last few days, my consciousness has entered Yetzirah world. Many years ago, I knew that it's possible to enter the Yetzirah world. The Yetzirah world is actually entered on Shabbat, when the lower aspects of the Osea world rise up, and the higher aspects go up 3 notches into the Yetzirah world. And when Shabbos is every day, when you feel every day is Shabbos, then you've entered that Yetzirah world. And that's the world of the Malachim, of the angels. And those angels control things. We have things down here like medicine, and that's fine in the Osea world. And if you're in the Osea world, you should go to a doctor. But if you're in the Yetzirah world, then you go to Raphael. Raphael down here becomes a doctor, but up there it's a Raphael. Raphael is very evident and accessible during the month of Shevet, where we have Tu B'Shvat. And the tree, the healing tree. The entire month of Shevet The gematria of Shevet is 311. That's the same as Raphael. The gematrias are the same. So Raphael is accessible on the month of Shevet. And to enter into the Yetzirah world, by the way, which gematria is 315, which is Raphael, which is 311 plus 4 letters, that's 315. Raphael is a perfect example for the what takes place in the Yetzirah world. Malachim, angels, do the work. Down here, do you ever see people say to a doctor, "Oh, you're an angel." "Oh, doctor, you're an angel. You were." Oh. And the way they treat doctors down here. Doctor, save me. It's the same as asking an angel or Hashem to save him. And down here in the physical world, in the world of Hosea, they are like representatives. But I don't want to go the I don't want to go the shliach. I want to go the real mamish. So my world is now Yetzirah world. And I'm interested now in Raphael. Raphael is my healer for you ever hear the term? Refuah Shalema. Refuah comes from the same root as Raphael. Refuah. It's actually the middle letters of, just looking here now, with my finger I'm looking, the middle letters of Teferet are Resh, Aleph, Pei, Aleph, Resh. Those are the 3 letters for Rapha, heal, found in Teferet. And by the way, that's where Raphael is found. Mikael in Hesed, Gavriel in Gevurah, and Raphael in Teferet as the center pillar, which is the actual tree, and that's the Ilan, which fully spelt out in its letters, full for Aleph, Lamed, Yud, Nun. Aleph, Yud, Lamed, Nun, final Nun, is 311 also. So the tree is the Rapha. And so being a fruitarian in the Garden of Eden, or getting healing fruits from a tree, or the tree itself. So one of my suggestions is during Shevet, hug a tree and get the vibrations of the Zadok. Man is a tree of the field, the Zadok is a tree. All trees are the tree of life. And so all this, these little sikos here. And these words are entering a completely different world of Yetzirah. So stick around.